Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for spending your evening with us. This is the third episode of our video podcast, Grad-Titude, Keep It Real. So, we have different speakers and different alumni from different industries and different schools come joining us. So today we'll discuss on the effect on the pandemic on the media and entertainment industry. So this is something that I think resonates with a lot of people when we are at home and we going out to work. There will be contact with the media industry. So without further ado, let's invite our esteemed alumni.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Right. Okay, so before we start things proper, let me just do a run through for our listeners and our viewers on your bio, a little bit of your bio. So first we have Kenneth Yong, a graduate from Diploma in Sonic Arts. He's currently a senior lead technician with SO Drama Entertainment. So his portfolio is wide. He have done a lot of live festivals, laneway festivals, ultra music festivals, as a monitor engineer even beyond. And he have even worked with people like Sugar Shay and Grizzle Green Q.
User grind crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even some of the latest shows where they came on board, such as Netflix, when they had engagements over here in Singapore. Fantastic. And secondly, we have Ivy, who's with SGAG. So she's a producer over in SGAG Media. So she does a variety of project engagement, project management, from budgeting coordination to locations sourcing. Sorry, and she does it all. So if you have any questions, please fill up the live chat over in the YouTube page, and we will answer them accordingly. And they are more than happy to engage us. And last but not least, we have Jake Tan, who's a graduate from Diploma in New Media. So just to share, Ivy is now, she graduated from Diploma in Media Production Design, which is a newer name to the course, and the structure, and there are changes in it. So Jake's course, DNM, was an older name to it. So he is the director for serial communication. He's an independent new media artist. So if you have any questions regarding the scene where you interact with clients, or as a freelancer, and he's even a research assistant with NTU's Art, Design and Media School. So fantastic. So these are our speakers, and please feel free to engage us, and we will adjust accordingly. So let's start with something maybe a little bit lighter before we go to the real content. So maybe we start with Kenneth. You have been you have graduated from RP for like over 10 years, right? So a lot have changed. Maybe you can share a bit what have changed when you graduated from the industry, and looking back. I know you're still engaged with RP, or when you see your students back in RP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 10 years can be a very long time or a short time. But for me, I think what I always every time I go down to visit my old facies and stuff like that, the biggest change is usually the curriculum. Back in my day, my course was I was only the second batch of my course, and RP was only 3 years old. So the whole curriculum has matured. The syllabus has improved a lot more. It's more relevant to the industry, which is great. I really wish I could have learned whatever is taught now. So I guess for me, the biggest change would be the curriculum in at least for STA. I mean, I'm pretty sure everything else has changed as well. But yeah.
And then from the industry point of view, when you entered it, what changes were there when you entered?
Well, the industry changed. Okay, I mean, if you talk about currently this situation, back then, like right now, for example, a lot of people just have to go Google and YouTube. Although yes, 2007, 2008, there was already Google and YouTube, but there were a lot less videos, and social media was, just started. So the kind of information that we had to get compared to the information now that is already given on the internet is a lot lesser. So it took a little bit more of hard reading, literally going to libraries and like finding friends who are already in the industry and finding out things from them rather than just typing Google. Yeah, we had that back then, but it just wasn't as robust, and as it wasn't as informed as it is now. Industry has changed tremendously in terms of technology. I mean, we were still learning analog boards then. I'm pretty sure they're still learning it now, but the main boards we were using for shows were still analog boards. Now, if you go anywhere you go, it's all digital, which is, technology and curriculum, those are the big changes in terms of the industry right now. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I think let's discuss on that, on working with the technologies on hand, because we do work a lot with equipments. We work a lot with people. So how was it working from home? Okay, maybe you start with Jake. How was it working from home, even as a artist, or as someone who works a lot with clients? How was it working from home?
Well, I think working from home, one thing is as a entrepreneur, I guess, like having worked with multiple clients. Actually, it's much easier now that I don't really have like this cost of like getting a space. So to me, it's actually worked to my advantage. Like because like my agency does like very digital things. So having this like very digital front is actually quite easy for us. So I guess that's one way we have sort of like leveraged on the pandemic to like maybe do a little bit better than other people. Fortunately, because we do like a little bit more digital stuff that end up being physical later, we in that sense we do a little bit. It's easier for us, yeah.
Okay, well, we never look at it at that point of view. I mean, you are okay. We have advantages working from home. Maybe for Ivy, you have experiences working from home, as a producer, or in your capacity.
I think right now, because like my job is just as a producer, I do for shoots and I prepare pre-production, logistic, budgeting. But like I think the most of my working from home experience, I mean, because now we can go out for shoots, but like, back then during CB, right, how we keep our content going up for SGAG was like we do a lot of our shoots through Zoom. So I think mostly it's just we just switch on the com and then we with the cast and then with our director, with our DP. But then we're just doing everything through Zoom, and then like our cast will have to film themselves, and all we can do was to give them advice. Like it was a bit weird lah. But I think because it was my company is a social media company, so it's more lenient. Like it's not like if we don't use C200 or like a good camera with good lighting, and then the shooting cannot go on, the filming cannot go on. But because it's social media, that's why I think it's okay to be wretched. It's okay to be so I think that's how we do our work from home back then during CB. But now we have everything proceeded back to the normal shoots. But of course we also maintain the social distancing. Yeah, that's how my company does it.
Nice. Then, but there's definitely an increase in demand, like for content on social media, even this period of time. So,
yes, because I think during COVID period, the circuit breaker, right? Everybody is just scrolling on their phones. Like I think they cannot go out, so Facebook, Instagram became like their daily habit, like a constant thing to scroll. So that's why we are trying. A lot of clients will come to us with briefs, and surprisingly like a lot of government agency will come to us and to give us brief, even though it's done through phone and everything. Like there were still clients coming in. At first we were very afraid but now as we look back, actually the pandemic actually gave us like an advantage because we were social media is more easy and the turnover is faster also.
Fantastic. I think we there's a lot of positivity there actually, because a lot of people are graduating and they are worried that how will we have that opportunity, right? But I think that there is actually a lot. So Kenneth, is it positive for you during this past few months?
Okay, I mean, interestingly, circuit breaker started on the 7th of April, right? And I will never forget that date because that's the day when my daughter was born.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. She's got 7 months, coming 8 soon. So it was a blessing. A lot of people were complaining, some people were happy because they can work from home, but for me it was one of the best things ever. It's basically an extended paternity leave, but in Singapore you get 2 weeks for dads, but I got 4 months. So 4 months taking care of my daughter with my wife. It's amazing lah. I mean, the opportunity like that would never ever. It's very rare. Every day I was home. The good thing was my bosses and my colleagues were really understanding. When it first started, there wasn't much work to be done. It was more on like, okay, how are we going to get this work done rather than getting the work done. So, you know, he told me if you're free, come and join us for the meetings. If you're not, it's okay. So very understanding in that sense, lah. So I'm fortunate in that sense to be able to take care of my daughter during this circuit breaker. So I mean, for me, not much happened during the circuit breaker because we run live events, right? So we literally couldn't do any of our shows that were already planned throughout the whole of you know, May, June, March period and all that. But what was it? I played a part, like my hard skills. For example, I'm an audio engineer. I couldn't do any live events. But what played the most in that period was my soft skills, which I would like to emphasize to anyone watching, everyone watching, that soft skills meaning, you know, working on Excel, communicating with people, learning how to do proposals. You know, all of us from RP, we learn how to do PPT and stuff like that. How to make your PPT even more interesting than just pictures and videos, you know, connect it to something else, whatever it is. So all these soft skills, like, was what I was banging on throughout the whole circuit breaker, because I was writing proposals, I was putting up acquisitions, you know, in high level proposals to bigger bosses and stuff like that. English got a little bit proper. You got to know how to format your letters and stuff like that. Simple things like this, they don't really teach you, whether in primary, secondary, or poly, but it's the soft skills that you learn as you're working. And these are the skills that, you know, even I'm pretty sure Ivy and Jake learned it on the job, you know, how to do a budget. You know, you don't just simply have two columns. Okay, this is the item, this is how much. No, man, it's a lot more than that. So these are the kind of soft skills that play a part during the circuit breaker, especially for people like me who depend on live shows to work. Not much on social media and all that kind of stuff. So most of my work was all you know, putting up paperwork and Excel skills, and all of that really played a part.
That's nice. I mean, okay. The soft skills are actually the most concrete skills, right? Other than, it's more harder than the hard skills sometimes. Right? So fantastic. But tapping on the family portion, you know, there was a question that came in about, you know, someone asked earlier, how did, you know, was there now starting a family even as a creative? Was there ever a debate among yourself between choosing like your passion and a good paying, you know, sort of good paying job, or was there ever a debate on that?
Okay, so for me, I was fortunate enough to know what I wanted to do already before my O levels when I was in secondary school. Like, I started out with music, of course, right? Most engineers all start out with music, or sound engineers, I would say. So for me, the direction was always something to do with music. It could be teaching, it could be playing live music, it could be sound or sound design or composing and stuff like that. So it was already a passion for me when I first started my job. You know, before I actually worked with Shabir, who is quite well known in the Indian and Tamil industry in Singapore. So I worked with him for Vasantham and stuff like that. So when I was already doing that during my poly days, I already knew that this is going to be my passion. This is going to be my job. Whether there was any debate regarding like good paying job, I always like to tell like my juniors or any of my close friends, if you love doing what you're doing, and if you get pretty good at it, or if you get even excellent at it, people will just pay you to do the job. No matter what skill it is, right? It could be a soft skill, it could be a hard skill. If you are pro at Excel, you can put in formulas at the back of your head. People will pay you for the job. You know what I mean? There will always be something that people will pay you for as long as you get good enough at it. And I'm pretty sure Ivy and Jake will probably share this sentiment, because, you know, they are doing something that they studied and they probably enjoy. And if you're good at it, Ivy's in SGAG, Jake has his own company, so people will pay for it. I mean, if not, you just be your own boss. You know what I mean?
Nice. Jake, how was it for you? Like managing the finance part, at the same time managing finance plus clients. Yeah, how was that? Yeah.
I think the sentiment is like similar to what Kenneth said, but I think the reality of things is that starting like an agency or a company is not easy. And for me, sometimes when I started my company, like when I graduated like in May, like there was this month where like you get like really good jobs, and then you can pay yourself like 3K, 4K. And then like sometimes you get like no jobs, and then like there's no money coming in. So like at that point of time, like it was quite down for me, because like I was transitioning from like freelancing into a company, and that involved like quite a bit of overheads and stuff. So I guess as a result, like at one point in time, it was really tough for me, and it came to the realization that I needed like a more stable income on top of the passion things that I was doing. So like because I'm an artist, so and it's not that the arts don't pay well. It's just that during this period, it's not very prioritized. So I guess like we kind of have to balance passion and survival. So as a result, I picked up a job at NTU ADM, which is my university, and sort of like that gave me grounding because I still did what I love to do, which is like programming and creative conceptualization and stuff. Yeah, so I guess as a result, like I still get to enjoy what I do, but at a capacity to like sort of change the world in its own way, while still like engaging in my own things, my own independent practices. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, can I just say
No,
like,
yes.
what Jake says is like completely accurate. Like, I mean, I'm fortunate enough, so I'm sharing my point of view, right? But there are a lot of people, working in F&B, but they love to do music, that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, it's tough. It's definitely going to be tough for some people. Putting it out there. Everybody knows, especially those in the working world. It's if you want to do what you love, you either got to do it all the way. Even if you don't do it all the way, there has to be something to keep you on your feet if you don't if you are working for a full-time job that you don't want to, you know what I mean? But like what Jake did, it was tough for him, but he pushed on, he found an alternative that's somewhat related. I wanted to do music strictly. And then when I got into Sonic Arts, interestingly, when I got into RP, right, my name card, right, I mean my ID card, my face was like like that. Because back in my day, RP was a new school. And because it's RP, right, everybody called it Reject Poly. I don't know if you all know this, yeah, but back when
There's even more. I heard worse. Until my time, I heard like something like, okay, I don't get offended at people. It got retarded poly. I heard a lot, or like the IT of poly. I don't know. A lot of people say it's not worse thing.
Yeah, so it was like that because RP was such a new school, and anyone could go in. If you are 26 pointer for O levels, you could go in. So people call it Reject Poly. So when I got into RP, I was like, wow, my face was like, damn it, because SP was my first choice, right? But obviously, I love RP now, you know what I mean? A lot of opportunities came to do it. Yeah, so I mean, in the end, when I didn't do music, it was still sound design, and it led to live sound. It's somewhat related, I still love to do music. I have my own home studio, which like what Jake is, similar to Jake's sentiments, where he's not doing exactly what he wanted to do, but somewhat related. I'm doing live sound, but I mix music, so there's some relation there, and that's why that's how my passion still gets played. At the same time, I got my own home studio projects and stuff like that.
And it's good because I think you guys do a lot of extra stuff outside of your, the full-time job. That itself fuels your passion. Like, now, I was fortunate because my external works I did with works relating to refugee. So when I do media works, I tag with refugee bodies, and we spill in that media vibe, the creative vibe. So you still do what you love by doing what your skills also align with. So that's nice. I mean, but managing expectations, maybe I don't know. Okay, project maybe managing expectations with people. How was it? Is it a skill that you take over time and you negotiate and all this? Yeah.
To me, I think it's a life skill. I think like in RP that really helped because like we sort of like manage our own expectation. We only got one day to do everything. So I guess that's sort of like mindset kicks in along the way when you're working. Like you sort of like, as an artist, like you dream very big. Like, I want to make this piece about like with like 10,000 screens and like 10 speakers or something like that. And you sort of like scale down, and I guess that also is sort of like a skill to like sort of like work within your limitations. For me as an artist and as an entrepreneur, I think so.
Yeah. Nice. Ivy, how is it managing expectations because you are dealing with people who are viewing content, and the comments that comes in, whether some memes work, some doesn't. Then there's a lot of how was it managing that, because it was a fast pace. Yeah.
Actually, right, the comments, we do take in the comments, but actually most of the expectation, right, that comes is from our clients. Like, I do get a lot. I mean, even as a producer, I really get a lot of like quite ridiculous demands from clients, and like it's just I'm still learning, because like I think I am considered quite new in my product in this media industry. So like I'm still learning, and I'm still learning from every set that I'm on, and how do I speak to them, and certain words to use to make to like so that you can let them understand, or like so that your client would feel a bit better, or like make things easier for yourself. Yeah, and so like I feel like the expectations of social media was like, because we work with work with brands, certain big brands, right? And then they really want those very in your face kind of like hard selling product placement. So it was quite, which a lot of our audience are like, millennials or even the younger generations. So they will feel like, hey, another sponsored ad, hey, another sponsored ad. Then they were like, then like so it's quite hard to manage clients' expectation when they want, okay, I want the messaging, I want the brand, I want the product. And then when with our audience, they like they say in your face hard sell. So like we have to find in the middle to kind of like appease our client and also make it interesting and funny still for our audience, because SGAT is comedy ma.
Okay, wow. That's like a real. Is that something that you all will advise? There's a question by Amida about those who are starting out. They're just graduating and entering the workforce. Like, what are something you will give your younger self, or I mean your current juniors, a heads up in facing this? Yeah, some of the things that you would give. Yeah, make it candid or something. Yeah, or Jake. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to go a little bit of the hard truth about coming out from poly as a fresh graduate. Whether you're a guy or girl. Guy mostly you probably go to NS first, but it's definitely not a bed of roses. You will get clients straight up. You get clients that ask you like what Ivy just said, ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, it is ridiculous because these people don't understand the back end of how we work. You know what I mean? They just see it at one point of view, and it's hard to put it in that way. You'll always be unappreciated to some. Not always. I wouldn't say always. You will be unappreciated to some extent. You're the unsung hero that nobody really talks about. Your credits are always at the lowest, but ultimately you have to make sure you balance uh, your value and don't feel unappreciated because one person says so. And that also coincides with the kind of people you work with. If you have a good team with you, if you can build a good team with you who have full of positivity, whatever your clients say, bad, good, it doesn't matter because you got your team behind your back. You know what I mean? So it's definitely not going to be a bed of roses, but the kind of advice I would give, for me personally, I like what I follow Dwayne Johnson, who's the Rock. I think everybody knows him, right? And he always likes to say, be the hardest worker in the room. He always says this a lot of his Instagram posts and his social media posts. And I really follow his mentality on this, because if you don't do that much more than what you are expected of or what you plan to do, right? Somebody else behind you is willing to put in that much more effort than you, and you will lose out immediately. So really the best advice I can give is just be the hardest worker in the room, no matter what the situation. You know what I mean? And people will recognize you for that. And you don't do it just because I want to be the hardest worker. You got to do it because you just want to prove yourself, you want to prove your worth, you want to make sure that you do a good job, and importantly, not to impress, but just for your own good and for your own experience and for your own growth in the future. You know what I mean? So always be the hardest worker in the room. And that's what I can say about this, that one line.
Nice. I mean, there's a quote. So I heard that a man with a dream will not be denied. If you really have something that you want the world to know, you will not be denied of it. So, I mean, it's interesting that the growth part. But for Jake, you mentioned that there's a lot of new media content you're working with. Some things I don't think, like back in poly, we handle stuff. Right? So a lot of it you have to adapt. So and the media industry, the entertainment industry, we have been adapting all the way through year after year. So what does how was it this part of adapting? Is it easy? I mean, for somebody or when you grow older, like what are some of the things that you tend to transition to learn a new skill, and how is that?
So I guess my case is like a bit weird. I think adaptation is like a very good way of putting it, because like I went to university at NTU thinking I would do film, because but because my FYP I did like a little bit of graphic design, conceptual design, campaign and stuff, because of how my team was able to like push the project along with my prof. I guess at the end, I chose to do more coding based stuff. I was still trying to pursue like a single channel medium, like with experimental films and whatnot that have gone quite some places. But I guess the idea is that you can adapt your creativity to different mediums, and so don't like push yourself to one side and say like, oh, maybe right now you're like from DMPD, you're just graduating and you can't really find like a film job because like maybe there's not enough, there's maybe not enough of these jobs for so many graduates, I guess. And in this case, maybe try to adapt your creativity into something else. Maybe you learned a little bit of graphic design, and from there, then you can spin it into something else. Don't always like corner yourself to something, because like maybe there's like better opportunities out there for you to channel your creativity. So yeah, that's my advice, I guess.
Oh, it's interesting because RP, I think we all can agree, it's like a melting pot where they give you a lot of things, and you specialize like after sometimes you sort of zoom in after RP is done. So that's actually a blessing in many ways, because we are young and we didn't know really what we want to do at that age sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's helped like that transformation. But the digital age now, how is it for all of you now? Well, is it better now for your content to go out there, for your craft to be to be heard? Is it the challenges for digital transformation in this age? So how is it for the entertainment media? Maybe for Ivy, do you have how is it for you now, dealing with like almost on a daily basis like this idea of going digital all the way through? Yeah.
I think, because I think my company, we are digitalized everything. We're no longer on all the traditional media. So like it's an everyday thing for me, like all the memes, even TikToks, like we have to keep on trends. So but I think it's moving very fast. Also, like all the new things that's coming out, like TikToks, like now is the new thing for the in thing for the younger people. Even for me, I don't understand TikTok like, but my company is on TikTok. I'm not sure if any of you use TikTok. Do you?
No.
Yeah, know about it. Yeah,
We know,
but yeah,
definitely know about it, but I when it
Yeah.
first came out, I was like, what is TikTok? Because all I saw was my little cousin, she's like 10 or 11 years old, and she just kept dancing and like, come dance with me, dance with me. And I was like, what is this new thing? You know what I mean? But yeah, exactly. I mean, for Ivy, you are an SGAG, man. Every trend, you have to make sure it changes. In fact, you'll create the trend rather than try to follow the trend.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, when I first met up TikTok, it's like, it's mind blowing. You know, it's like new stuff is going out. Like, oh, it's really mind blowing. And it came at a very good time. It got famous during the circuit breaker, at least in
Yes.
Singapore, yeah.
Yeah. So like during CB, the TikTok was one of our channel that cause we have our own cast who have TikTok account, and then that's where we also monetize it. And then our cast that's where our briefs and endorsement and all the campaigns. Yeah. So in order to reach the newer audience, the younger audience, and that's where we will have to keep up the trend. And even for like SGAT, right? Because we are technically, memes can be like news. So like previously, like the train breakdown, then like our meme team, right, has to have their laptop on everywhere they go. So when the train breakdown, within the first 5 minutes, right, we have the meme of the MRT breaking down out already. So it's like you have to be really fast. Yeah. So this is how like I think digital age has affect, like no longer like like newspaper or like, okay, the latest is what, next day you can have the latest news. Yeah. But now it's like within 5 minutes. It's really fast, and it's really, you have to be very efficient now.
Oh, nice. Somebody commented, I'm not embarrassed to say I'm pretty addicted to TikTok. So this fast growing fast content is coming in, but at the same time, people are still wanting quality fast content. So it's like, now 2 trends come in. When last time was a long form film, you take time to really build on it, but now they want the same level of standard, but in a faster, and cut base. The attention span are lesser. So I think kind of you speak a lot with sound, right? So it's probably there's a lot of people have misconception on sound and its importance of it, right? So how is it the maintaining? Yeah.
We're just talking about the digital age, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, sound hasn't moved as much as as the industry compared to video and audio. What I mean by video and audio, basically now you have a lot of new technology called extended reality, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. So all this is all very visual compared to sound where it's just oral. I mean, there is 3D sound coming out and everything, but it's still, it's still not as developed as people would like because the technology is still new. What I foresee in the next maybe 20 to 30 years is more on people will be gaming. People already game with headphones and stuff like that, but people will be gaming with virtual reality with headphones, imagining that they are really in a total new space. And sound has to keep up with the video age, especially when it comes to virtual reality. What's interesting is my company is currently working on something called extended reality. So I don't know if anyone here has watched the video from Katy Perry Daisies. Yeah, so the American
Really good.
Idol, yeah, so that's extended reality, and that's what we're working on. So like how Jake adapt, and how you talk about adapting, it's constantly evolving. I'm a sound guy. I wasn't trained in video whatsoever, but right now, if you ask me any video stuff, the basic or maybe a little bit more advanced, I will be able to answer you. You have to be able to learn not just one skill and multiple skills. A jack of all trades, I would say. But if you are a master at all, even better. Obviously, it's good to be really focused on one and then make sure you are diverse in any kind of media that you do. For example, if you are in sound, you have to make sure you know some sort of video, because people will hire you more than if, like, for example, let me just give an example. Okay, I'm just a sound guy, right? If I'm a sound guy, but my partner, he can do sound, maybe not at a mastery level, but he can do video and he can also do lighting. And me as an employer, the moment I see, hey, this guy can do all three, I'm just going to get him. You know what I mean? And because Singapore is such a small industry in the media industry, a lot of us play double roles, dual roles, triple roles. We don't just do one thing. You know what I mean? They will milk you for every single skill you got. So, and that's also another thing preparing you for the work life, is to make sure you are not just skilled at one. Have something, have an edge over your partner, but also encourage your partner to learn from you and share each other's knowledge in that sense. So you always got to be diverse as much as possible. I mean, obviously don't overlearn things, because then you tend to not focus on what's important, but it's obviously good to learn more. So that's coming to the digital age and extended reality, and that's what I'm learning now. And I'm really I just turned 31 recently. I mean, I'm a bit old lah, but not that old lah. So I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still learning from what you guys are watching, whether you are still in school, whether you are just graduated, you are learning. But yes, I'm also still learning. I'm literally learning things that poly students are learning in NYP. Learning how to use Unreal Engine, learning how to use Notch and stuff like that. So that's new to me, and you have to adapt in that sense to the digital age, because now the moment people saw Katy Perry's Daisy videos, right? Everybody wants to do the same thing now. Everybody wants to do, and that's the trend that Ivy's also talking about. You got to keep up with that trend, and the moment you lose a little bit of track, you tend to lose out. Just a quick example, like for example, maybe you all heard of this example before, but Nokia. So Nokia, when they were the number one phones that everybody was using in the early 2000s, I was using a Nokia. And they did everything right. Their phones were blah, 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 sales were crazy. But the moment when the iPhone came out and BlackBerry came out, they were losing out already. And they didn't adapt fast enough. They didn't adapt fast enough. And that's why now, you don't see any Nokia phones. They are working more on the back end technology rather than the physical phones. So in that sense, that's how you have to keep up with the digital age, as well as, adapt to every kind of possibility that can happen, especially in the circuit breaker. All media companies now, right, are doing virtual productions. From a sound company that you only provide sound system, now suddenly they have video equipment and they're doing, that was how fast everybody had to adapt. And that's how fast the industry can move at an instant. Just a paradigm shift, pop, everybody suddenly is, doing something different, and we have to adapt to that.
Oh, okay. Oh, the thing I catch from this is to really learn and relearn and to teach. So just a fast commercial for those who want to learn more. ACE has a programs where you can take specialized diploma, and even STA has short courses that you can just learn. Even they have virtual realities short courses. So to just touch base, you have to learn a bit of UI UX. There are a lot of venues for this. So the opportunity to learn is growing now. I mean, the skills future is. Singapore is a bubble where you can learn so much. We have so much opportunities, I think, to learn. So I think moving to that, I think this is one of the points that I want to ask is for someone now, because you all have this vast experience, everyone's like a sponge in many ways, right? But for someone who just graduating now he just feel that he have only like one or two skills, right? So he don't know what to do in life, but now he's coming into this media industry where it requires you to be everything in this moment, right? So what advice can you give to this young person, but he's still ambitious, you know? What advice can you give to this young person who just graduated, maybe? Yeah, Jake, maybe you can.
I think
Yeah.
if I were to give advice to myself when I graduate, I think have patience and make more friends. I think that's what I would say. Like have patience to figure things out for yourself, find out what you want, and make friends along the way. Genuinely, not because like they will give you like benefits or whatever. Because um, it's not about you scratch my back, I scratch your back. It's about like creating this connection with people, and I think that's really really important. Yeah.
So Ivy, what's your take on to give people that advice? Yeah.
I think in my opinion, right, like this phase where I just graduate and then don't know what to do. Like I think it was like maybe 2 to 3 years back. I mean 2 years back, yeah, 2 3 years back. So like I think I would say like grab hold of every opportunity you can to have to build your portfolio. Because in media industry, right, it doesn't matter, your grade doesn't matter. People look at your portfolio. So you really have to, I mean, freelance, or even if you like, I think it's just have to take the initiative. Like if you want to be like video editor or something, then you just, if you don't have the equipment, right, all you have is like, I don't know, some lousy video editing app on your MacBook or on your laptop. Just do it lah. I mean, with your phone also. Then like just do it with whatever you have, and then build your own portfolio. I think that's the most important if you want to be able to do something that you want to do. And I mean, I tried out everything I could when I ended my internship from MediaCorp. So then after that, I signed on the contract. So after a contract in MediaCorp, then like I thought I wanted to do different things. So I tried like travel agency as a marketing exec because the pay was high. Then like, but in the end, I couldn't even take it because I couldn't even see myself doing it for like, and then like within 1 week, I just like, no, this is not what I want to do. And then I quit that. So like, I tried out different things and do as many things as I could and like try out different things just to know and like just to build my own portfolio. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing in my opinion.
Beautiful. I mean, portfolio and then people connection. I mean, we are in the business of people in that sense. I mean, the media industry is really about the people. It's about
Yeah, that's super important, man. Like I totally agree with Jake. Build relationships genuinely, because in the media industry, no one is a lone person. You know, I mean, if you're a photographer, even if you're a photographer, you work alone. But if you don't build that kind of relationship, then you will never get a project that, hey, I can't do this. Can you do this for me, bro? You know, because that kind of trust you have with someone, you know. So the relationships are very important, and always be genuine, because people will remember you. The people will either remember you as being a really like bad person because this guy talked to me like, no, I don't want him. I remember him that way. Or this guy he was a really nice guy. You know, he mentioned this, blah, 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 really genuine guy. People will always remember you. You know, you have to stand out in that sense. But at the same time, you know, be genuine. You know, because that kind of relationships really goes a long run. And that's how I got a lot of my freelance jobs. You know, not because they knew me as can I be such a good engineer? Not at all. Because like I met them and they had conversations with me, and they trust me in that sense that, hey, this is a nice guy, he's a good guy, he comes on time, blah 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 blah. This kind of small things plays a real big part, and really goes a long way building this kind of relationships in the long run.
beautiful. Thank you so much. I think that's a powerful wrap up. I mean, people may forget what you do or say, but people will never forget how you make them feel. I think that is
exactly.
So thank you so much. I think that is a powerful wrap up. I think to us. Thank you for joining in this evening, and everyone watching. Thank you so much. So for again, as a wrap up, those who have not liked the social media page to keep up to date with the alumni services, please do. Is in the live chat over there, and you may even head over to the alumni website because not only can you be up to date with the programs or activities, you actually can give back to your juniors, give back in terms of your knowledge, in terms of services as a advisor, or in the committee, alumni committee, you can give back. I think that is most important in the institution, that you give back to your fellow juniors who will need your advices more than anything. I think you are out there and you can connect with them because you have been there. So please, and I think especially for STA, there's always this yearly reunion, alumni reunion. It's just that this year maybe it wasn't so fortunate, we cannot really gather, but please always look out for STA's annual graduation showcase, symbiosis, this reunion, because like again, that's where we connect with our people. That's where we connect how we improve our portfolio, and to look again at our juniors, what are they up to right now. So that's about all of us connecting again together. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us in this third episode. Hopefully, you all gain from our alumni, and please always keep in touch. So, thank you so much.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.